Okay, so in the last video, I had somebody recommend that I maybe add some commentary and show what English I'm using to add some value to these daily break and runs. Um, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm showing the racking here in the early part just to give me some time to introduce this. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as I'm thinking through the rack and as I'm preparing, I'm going to talk through what I'm thinking. All right, so I make two balls on the break. I've got the one at the top of the table and the two all the way at the other end of the table. So the very first thing I need to think about is going to be, do I use inside English to get up to the two and avoid all of the traffic by staying on that right-hand side of the table as you're looking at it, or do I come around the table to get there? And my choice 100% of the time, if there's not a lot of traffic, is going to be to come around the table. Okay, so my only real problem here is that 7 ball. I'm going to have to land between the 8 and the 9, on a line between the 8 and the 9 on it. But other than that, this table's fairly open. The 8 could cause a problem because the 9 ball does have like 2/3 of that pocket. So I'm not going to be able to pocket it in that side. So I'm going to have to hit the 7 and try to get position on the 8 in the top right. At least that's my plan. So on this one, if I hit this with no English, the cue ball is going to come off 2 rails on the natural tangent line, and it's going to come up to the left top side of the table. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to put, I want right-hand English, but right-hand English by itself stands a really good chance of going in the corner. Whenever you're doing that 2-rail shot, you typically want to use running English, and you're going to want to use some kind of low in it as well. So to shorten up the rails and get you the right angle. So on this 2 ball, I wanted to be straight in or maybe a little bit on the other side of the 2 so that I could stay on that close side where the cue ball is to get my angle on the 3. And it's very difficult to hold a soft shot like that. I ended up almost straight in. I've got a little bit of angle, so I'm just going to hit this soft and draw back to get my shot on the 5. Okay, so I could have hit that a little bit harder, but ultimately I got about where I needed to be. I have a choice between inside English or using, again, bottom running English, which is what I'm going to choose to use. Like I said, I will always choose to go that route. Of 2 rails and using the rails to control my speed rather than the shot. Okay, so I am dead straight in. I'm close to the rail. I've got just the tiniest bit of angle on the 7. So rather than trying to do something fancy like draw it around the 8 or jack up and cheat the pocket, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll it forward slowly and try to get a leave on the 8 in the side pocket. So I'm just going to roll this. I did end up incidentally cheating the pocket more than I wanted to. I meant to leave it where you saw me put my finger the first time, which was almost a straight-in shot. I got too much angle on this. I have a choice between rolling forward, which is going to put me about at the first diamond, or I can roll around. So I'm going to choose to roll around once again. I use just top English. I don't want to put any right on it because I would run the risk of hitting the 9 ball, and you don't want to do that. And now I'm just going to pocket the 9. Doesn't really matter the English.